Alright guys, today we're going to take a look at the top 5 mini drones. You know, the thing about making a top 5 video is that it's hard to, these things are all real good. These are all really great quads, okay? So it's hard to really to pick them. It's easy to do the top 5 worst of stuff because, you know, I got tons of crap, okay? But making a top 5 of something good is a little bit harder. I have some notes here which I usually never use, but I had to write the flight times down on all of them so I could tell you what the flight times were on them. So we're gonna start with number 5 here. It's the Syma X20 Mini. Now we're talking about mini drones here. We're not talking about the micros. The micros are those real super tiny ones. These are the minis. All these can be flown outside. I had no trouble flying any of these outside. Plus I have videos on every one of these. The X20, the flight time on here was 5 minutes and 40 seconds. And it has a controller. They all have controllers also. None of these are phone flyers. You can use phones on some of them, but you're way better off with these because you just have the agility. You know, you can do a lot more stuff with the transmitter. So this is the transmitter for the X20. This is and for the money, I think this thing was $20, okay? And that now they've started to upgrade it because now they got the X21 and they're coming out with the X22. This thing does great flips. They're real tight. It does the great funnels and it has a pretty decent range. Not that great, but it's okay. It's a lot of fun indoors. I couldn't recommend this thing enough. You know, for 20 bucks. For 20 bucks, you just can't go wrong with this thing. And the great thing about these little minis is you can learn to fly with them in the house or out in the backyard. And basically, they're indestructible. It's hard to break one of these things. You have to crash this thing. You know, you have maybe a little problem with the props because a lot of these kind of minis, they have the push-on props, you know. So if you wreck them, all you have to do is just before you take off again, just twirl the prop with your finger to make sure it's freed up. Because if you push them down on there too hard, they'll bind on the motor. You just want to. They're just force-on props. So, but the X20 is really nice, super nice. You'll love it. Get one. 20 bucks, you can't go wrong. Okay, coming in at number 4 is going to be this QueDing K100. Actually, QueDing has 2 in this top 5. This thing, I just did a video on it a few weeks ago. This is the one that doesn't have the camera, but this is an exceptional flyer also, and it has 6 minutes and 28 seconds was the flight time on this. And that was right out of the box. So if you broke the battery in, I bet you could get a little bit more. But this thing has super nice build quality on the motors and it just flies great. I mean, this thing flies great. And here's the transmitter for that. That's what it looks like. And that's what the quad looks like right there. They have an upgraded version of this where this light, I explained it in my review video, there would be a camera right there if you wanted to go that route with the camera model. But I didn't want to go that route with the camera model. This quad here has the same motors in it as the Parrot Mambo. It's the same motors on it, so that's a goodie. You can't go wrong with this. Well, you can't go wrong with any of these. These are all really great quads, all of them. Okay, now I'm going to come in at number 3, which is, this was hard when I get down to the last 3 because they're all so great. It was really hard to choose between these. And the K100, by the way, was $32. To get the price, I forgot to tell you the price. Okay, so now I'm going to come down to number 3, which is going to be the Parrot Mambo. Now this is like the Cadillac of mini quads, okay? This thing has exceptional build quality, okay? This is about the finest built mini quad that's on the market, but you got to pay for it. This thing is almost $100, okay? And then when you add the controller, which is another $32. So you're looking at like $130. Or you can get it, you know, on eBay or buy it a little bit used or whatever. But, I mean, it's just, this is the Ferrari of mini drones right here. Okay, and the range on this thing is actually incredible. I've gotten about 250 feet of range with this controller. I don't know if it would do that with the phone, but it does it with this. I've gotten like 250 feet of range with this thing, with that controller. And it has a camera. The camera is really crap. It just takes, you have to use the phone to use the camera. You know, contrary to popular belief and videos you might watch on YouTube, you do not need to have the phone hooked up to the controller when you fly this. If you just set it down and turn it on and turn on the controller, it will automatically sync. It just takes about 30 seconds for it to sync the Bluetooth, because it's controlled by Bluetooth. So it takes about 30 seconds to sync the Bluetooth. So a lot of people were thinking that, oh, it didn't do it right away, so you must have had to put the phone on. You don't need the phone if you have the fly pad. So, but this has the little sonar on there that holds the position. And this thing is a lot heavier than the rest of these. This thing is very well built, and it holds position even in some strong winds. I've had this thing out in strong winds, and the position hold on this thing is so solid, even in strong winds. It'll just, if the wind blows it'll come right back. It'll just come right back. So this is the Ferrari of mini drones. It's just that the price is, it's prohibitive, the price. The price is just, it's out there. You know, that's a lot of money to pay for something like this. I mean, for what you pay for this, you could get a Bugs 2. Okay. But it is what it is. It flies great. Okay. And the battery, well, the battery life is not as good as any of them. It's the worst one on the battery life because of the weight and the electronics that are involved in it. So the battery only goes for 5 minutes and 30 seconds on that. Okay, now we'll get down to number 2, and it's going to be this, the QueDing K90 Mini. This thing has an exceptional camera, and so does the one that's in the #1 spot too. The camera on this thing is, I have 3 of these, by the way. The camera on this thing is really good. I mean, really good for what you get. It's better than the camera on this one is better than the camera on the K90, the full size one that has that obstacle avoidance thing and all. Well, this one has it too, but I've never used it. That's a gimmick. Okay, don't think that's really going to work, because it don't. But the camera on this is exceptional. I have a video on it where I took it down to the creek and I was flying it around the creek. And the battery life on this thing is the most also. I have, I think, 4 or 5 batteries for this because I have 3 of the quads. But the battery life in this thing is almost 9 minutes on this thing. Now the motors, they're not as tight as the motors on like the Mambo or the K100. It's a different kind of motor. You know, it's those brushed motors, and they're exposed down here, so you got to be careful getting it into any kind of sand or anything like that. So, but this thing here is really nice. This is better than the big one, way better. As a matter of fact, I gave the big one away to Juddy because I like this one so much better. So I actually just sent him that one as just like a here, you know, here, you can have it. And so I didn't run it over or nothing. I've never seen him make a video or anything on it, so I don't know if he crashed it or, you know, I don't know what happened to it. So I've never seen it since I sent it to him. So maybe he just gave it to his grandson or something. I don't know. But anyway, the price on that one actually is super cheap too. It's only 32 bucks. I paid $32 for this. I bought this one and I loved it so much I bought 2 more. Because, you know, these brush motors, and I'm not changing motors on something like this. Not for $32. Go buy motors and try to, you know, change motors on something like this. So when this one craps out, I'll just go to the next one. Oh, and this one also has the SD card slot in there. It's not the Wi-Fi stuff. So the video is super good on this. Super good. Okay, we'll put that over there. And then coming in at #1 is going to be the Hubsan X4 Cam Plus. This is an exceptional mini. Exceptional. The only thing this one doesn't do that all the other ones do is do flips. It might do flips. I've never been able to get it to do a flip, but it might. The camera on this thing is way better. I mean, way better than the Hubsan 502. That camera is garbage compared to this camera. But this thing is also, this was $54. And it also is the SD, micro SD. It doesn't use the Wi-Fi crap. You know, it has right on the transmitter. It has a button for the photo and the video right on the transmitter. So you don't have to hook up no app and do all that crap, you know. And the flight time on this was 7 minutes and 17 seconds. And this has a super good range too. This has a real far range. So that's one of the disadvantages, is the range. The thing about these minis, you know, to me, range isn't really that important. I mean, it doesn't take you to go too far with these before you can't even see them. Okay, so what difference does it make if it has a range, you know, of you know, 500 feet or whatever, you're not going to be able to see it once it gets to, well, I'm old, so I can't see as good as you young guys, but I remember when I took that parrot Mambo out to 200 and it was like 250 feet. I could barely see the damn thing. So, you know, your orientation is going to be all out of whack because the Mambo, it doesn't have headless mode. This has headless mode, so you could probably take this out 300 feet and you'd be able to bring it back because you could just have it in headless mode and pull back on the stick. But you're not going to be able to see what you're doing, you know. But this is an exceptional quad right here. I mean, this thing is as good as it gets when it comes to these minis. Like I said, it doesn't do flips that I know of, but it does have this great range. It has the great battery life, and it has the awesome camera. So of all of these, I would recommend this one over the other ones. But they're all good. I mean, I couldn't say don't buy any of these things. I'd say buy them all. And I have way more of these minis, but you know, they don't fit into a top 5. You know, they're down there on the totem pole. You know, some of them aren't that good, so I don't even fly them anymore. They just sit in a box. All right, guys, there you go. Go buy them. Go buy them all. You could get all of these for like $225. You could have all of these right here with the controllers. And another thing is, these things are really difficult to control with these phones, especially outdoors. Now, indoors, well, indoors you got the problem of you're running in close to some walls and stuff like that. You know, you could put it on that where you tip the phone and it makes it, but there's lag in that. There's no precision in those phones. But outside, you definitely want to have the controller outside because you get more precision and you can do more stuff. So, all right, guys, enjoy going and buying these things and spending all your money. I'm gonna be having another giveaway here. I'm gonna cut the video maybe today. I'm not sure if I'm gonna cut the video today, but I'm gonna be having another giveaway of that Star Wars and that Star Trek thing that I have. I don't want those things. Ugh. So I'll give it to you guys and you can have fun with them. All right, have a nice day.